In a box of pens, there are 3 times as many red pens as green pens, and 2 times as many green pens as blue pens. For the pens in the box, we need to write down the ratio of the number of red pens to the number of green pens to the number of blue pens. And this question is for 2 marks. Okay, so we're going to go through the question really carefully and break it down. So firstly, starting with this line. So this line looks at red pens and green pens. So you've got red and green. And there are 3 times as many red pens as green pens. So writing that as a ratio, it's going to be 3 to 1. Because for every 1 green pen, there'll be 3 red ones. Because there are 3 times as many red pens as green pens. Okay, now separately, we're going to have a look at the second line. There are 2 times as many green pens as blue pens. Okay, so we're working with green and blue. And 2 times as many green pens as blue pens. So it's going to be 2 to 1. So if we've got 1 blue pen, there'll be 2 green pens. Fantastic. So now the final part is combining both of these into a single ratio. And to do this, we need to look at what's common between them both. Well, what's common is the green pens. And so to combine them, we need these 2 numbers to be the same. Now we can either divide this ratio by 2, which will make this number 1, matching this one. Or we could times this ratio by 2, making this 2, matching this one. I think it'd be better to times this one by 2. Because otherwise we'll get a decimal here, which isn't very nice to work with. So we're going to multiply this ratio by 2. When we're working with the ratios, we need to remember to multiply both sides, because we need to keep them equivalent. We need the new ratio that we have to be equivalent to the old ratio. So doing that, we're still going to have red and green, but the ratio now is going to be 6 to 2. And we're going to leave the other one the same. We've still got green to blue, which is a ratio of 2 to 1. And what's great now, because these numbers are the same, we can write this as the ratio of red to green to blue being 6 to 1. And that right there is the final answer. Okay, so we get the first mark for these statements here. So interpreting the question and making them into these ratios. Then we get the second mark for then combining them together to get the final correct ratio.